Hey guys, if this is your first time to my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Emily and today I am bringing you an indie makeup haul. Today I am bringing you a haul on all new indie makeup that I recently received in the mail. I actually got most of these in yesterday and one of them I've just been camping on for a while, but I have basically just been waiting for this purchase to come in to do this video because I love hauls, I love watching what people are buying, so I was really excited to get everything in and test it out and film this for you. Now I do have a purchase from Colourpop in this indie haul, but I am calling it an indie haul still because to me Colourpop is still a very kind of smaller brand and they're still kind of an indie brand. I remember the days like yesterday that they still had the Super Shock shadows and all they offered was the lippies and the Super Shock shadows, and that feels like not that long ago. So I'm gonna go ahead and lump them into the indie category here. So this is just a Z palette that I got from Colourpop. This is one of the purchases that I made recently. It came in my Colourpop order for this haul. It is just a very basic standard Z palette. I believe this one holds 24 pans and it has these little smiley faces and eyelashes on it. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that on camera because it's kind of like a clear reflective texture. And I think it's really cute. I don't know, I just needed a Z palette. This one is only $10 on their website, and this one is significantly larger than the Z palettes that they offer at Sephora that are $10. Those ones hold about half the amount of product that this one does, so it's the same price and you get more space for your shadows. So I like the Z palette. And if I ever need more, I'll probably end up purchasing more of these because they're only 10 bucks. Let's be honest here, I was only purchasing this to get the free shipping, but it was a good discovery in that venture. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get started with this top row here. Now this super empty shadow here is actually my old version of the Now in Zen eyeshadow by Colourpop. This retails for $4 and it is described as a light pale yellow gold metallic. I'm just keeping the shadow that I got in this whole purchase just in its little box for right now because I'm just going to use this one up first before I put it into my Z palette. I'm basically just going to do a swatch of every single color here just so you guys know what the color looks like when it's on the skin. The second one in the Colourpop list over here is Lay Low. This is from the Festival collection, which is their brand new spring collection of single shadows that they just released. I believe it was like last week or so. And this one is described on the website as a soft coral. Now to me this one doesn't really look like a soft coral. This one looks more like a muted peach. I mean, it definitely has that warm undertone that a coral would have, but to me this one is more of a peach. And I'll show you that on the swatch here. It's more of like a muted pastel peach, if you will. To me that's definitely more peach than coral though. Next up in the row here we have a staple from the Colourpop single shadow collection. This one is Come and Get It, and this one is described as a pink with a gold flip. This one is supposed to be a duochrome. This one is not from the Festival collection. This is a shadow that they've had around, I believe, since the very beginning of their single shadows. This was the very popular one. To me this looks more like a rose gold versus a pink with a gold flip. You can kind of see the gold flex throughout it no matter what direction you turn your wrist or your eyes. You can really see that gold reflection in it. So to me that's not really a duochrome. To me a duochrome is when you turn your face a certain way and then you see a green shade and you turn back and it's a purple. Like it basically switches from one color to another. This one kind of has that rose gold aspect to it all the time, if that makes sense. It doesn't really have that shift from pink to gold. It's just rose gold. Does that make sense? Who knows? The next one in the row here is Hop On. This is a hot red matte color. This one is from the Festival collection and this is one of the ones that really caught my attention. If you watched my Pay or Stay Away where I talk about the Festival collection, I basically swoon over this shadow and talk about how much I need it. So the last shade that I purchased from Colourpop is this warm lilac shade, and this is in the shade 2 to Mango. Now they already had a shade called 2 to Tango, and this is not in any relation to that shade. This one, like I said, is a warm kind of antique lilac shade. It's not quite pastel, it's a little bit deeper of a lilac shade. I don't really own anything like this in my collection and it's definitely a new shade to me. I tried using it today and I don't know how I feel about shades like this yet. I'm gonna have to play with it more, but I hate my eye look today. Did I already mention that? I'm not sure if I did. So even though this one isn't a cool tone, it's definitely a warm lilac-y purple shade. I just don't think purples look that great on my eyes. It definitely washes me out and makes me look a little bit dead, but I have to play around with it a little bit more. Definitely try pairing it with some different colors, and then maybe I will have success with finding a shade that works well on my complexion with this type of purpley tone. So moving down in the Z palette here, you may have noticed this shade right over here, which looks like a lemon. Yes, it has a lemon print in it, and this is Pucker by Clionadh Cosmetics. I mentioned about a month ago during my Clionadh Blush Trio review that I was going to be purchasing more from them and doing a brand review. I have gotten half of my products in from them. I'm still waiting on one more parcel, and then I can do that review after I test everything out. This is the highlighter I am wearing today, and I think it's absolutely stunning. It's a kind of yellowy gold, but it's still pale enough to look like an actual highlight on my cheeks and not a stripe of gold or a stripe of yellow. So I'm very pleased with this highlight, and I just think that it's so cute that it looks like a lemon and it actually smells like lemon. You can choose to opt out of the scented version on their website and just get the regular pan unscented, but I thought that the lemon scent was a really cute touch. And it really smells good. It doesn't smell like Lysol lemon. It smells like a nice, sweet lemon scent. So I think that this is adorable, and I'm really happy with the performance of it so far. The next three in the Z palette here are all from Sydney Grace Cosmetics. I purchased this yellow one right here, which is called Sunbeam. It reminds me of a bright ray of sunshine. It is so stunning. It is kind of like a satiny pastel yellow color, if you will. It's not really a primary yellow because it has a pretty white base to it, as you can see in the swatch there, but I really like it. I think it's beautiful. It's definitely a lot brighter than a lot of the yellows I've come across, which is why I wanted to purchase it. And I have a lot of yellows in my collection, but a lot of them can get kind of muted down once you start blending. And I haven't tried this one on the eyes yet, but the swatches look pretty promising. I mean, it looks pretty bright and pretty loud, so I'm excited to give that guy a go. This one in the center here is Apricot by Sydney Grace Cosmetics. This one is definitely more of a shimmer. It's not so much a metallic, and it is a kind of medium peach toned eyeshadow with a little bit of like a goldy orange base to it, if that makes sense. I'll go ahead and swatch it out here. But I think that apricot is a pretty good name for it because apricots are a little bit lighter than peaches and a little bit more orangey than peaches. And to me, that's what this shadow does for me. And it's definitely not a true metallic by any means. It's definitely more of a subtle shimmer, but I think that the color is really pretty, and I think this will be beautiful just packed over the lid. The last shade over here on the end is from Sydney Grace, and this is a very popular shade by them. This one is in the shade Golden Peach. I have wanted this shade for so freaking long, but it is always sold out. No matter when I go on the website, it is always sold out. And here it is swatched out at the end of my arm here. As you can see, this is kind of a corally shade with a peachy sheen to it. It's very reflective, very pigmented. This one is a pressed pigment, so it retails for $1 more than their usual shimmers and mattes do. It is $6 instead of $5 like the other two that I have purchased from Sydney Grace. So moving down to the last row in the Z palette here, these two shades down at the bottom are from Touch of Glam Beauty. I believe that she only sells out of Etsy. I believe she just has her Etsy shop. I could be wrong about that, but she is an indie brand that I found personally on Etsy, and I heard through a couple of YouTubers, so I wanted to just give it a go and try out some things from her. And I have been very pleased with what I've tried so far. I got another highlighter a little while ago that's a little bit brighter than this one, a little bit more peachy, and I think that it's stunning on the cheekbones. So I haven't tried this one yet, but I am excited to try it. I don't even think I've told you what it is yet, but this is Afternoon Delight, which is a highlighter. It is a pinky bronze highlighter with a kind of pinkish sheen to it. And I'll go ahead and swatch it right up here. Sorry about my hideous swatches. I have not perfected the art of swatching yet, but hopefully I will get there someday. But there you have it. See, it kind of has that pinky bronze vibe to it, and it definitely has a pink shift to it as well. The eyeshadow shade right next to it is also from Touch of Glam Beauty, and to me, this is the most unique product out of everything that I have purchased out of this whole entire haul. This is Sweet Nectar, and this is a pressed duochrome eyeshadow. This is a peachy pink eyeshadow with a lime and gold flip to it. It has lime and gold reflex to it. I think that combo is absolutely beautiful, and you will see in the swatches here, I already swatched it out once and I'm just building it up a second time here, that it definitely has that duochrome kind of lime green sparkle to it while still maintaining a peachy pinky base. It's just so beautiful. I love it. I have this on my inner corners today, and I think that it's absolutely stunning. I definitely want to use this more as like a brow bone highlight or an inner corner highlight or even a face highlight. It's such a beautiful color, and I'm excited to play around with this more. So the last shade over in the corner here is the only shadow that I got from Looxi Beauty. I actually made 2 purchases from them within like 5 minutes of each other, so I should have just like waited 5 minutes and realized that I wanted more shadows than I had actually just purchased. This one came first, and this is the shade Mirage. I am expecting a couple more shadows from them. I think they're coming today. This shadow is described on their website as a peachy pink eyeshadow with a gold shift. Now, to me, this doesn't look peachy at all. Maybe a little bit actually. It kind of has some peachy reflex, but to me this is more of like a kind of coppery bronze shade with maybe some peach shimmer in there. But I bought this because I saw on their Instagram they actually compared this shade to one of the shades in the Mothership palette by Pat McGrath, and it was an almost spot on dupe. So if you want this, it's on sale right now for $2.50 on their website, and I believe that their shipping for US is only $2.99. So that's a pretty inexpensive price to get something like this, and to me this is a very unique shade. I don't really feel like you come across shades like this very often, and I think that this one is just absolutely gorgeous. Very unique shade. Going back to talking about Clionadh Cosmetics here, I ordered their White Strawberries and Cream palette because, let's be honest, I was just sucked into the entire Valentine's Day collection. I think it's the cutest thing in the freaking world. I think that they did a really good job conveying Valentine's Day without being overly cheesy. And I like that they incorporated a lot of different types of food that people would eat on Valentine's Day, because if you look at these shadows, this definitely screams strawberries and cream to me, and I think they did a good job portraying the theme that they were going with in the actual shadows themselves. In my collection, I don't really own a lot of shades like this. I don't really gravitate towards these kind of more coolish toned shades, if you will. To me, they look cool toned at least. And I think that this is definitely something unique to me. Personally, I was originally drawn to this palette for this shade over here, the matte color. This is Strawberry Mousse, and it is described as a light baby pink matte. Now to me, this isn't really a baby pink color. It might be translating a little bit warmer on camera, but in person, it's pretty cool toned. It's almost kind of like that Colourpop shadow that I showed you guys earlier, the Tuda Mango shadow. And this is the Tuda Mango shade right here. As you can see, they're pretty similar. This one's definitely a lot lighter and a little bit brighter, maybe a little bit pinker, but they have a very similar tone to them. And to me, they're in that kind of light lavender or lilac family. And I was just expecting it to be like a strawberry milk color, a little bit more warm toned, a little bit more milky, and this one is more so of a pastel kind of lilac shade. And I'm just swatching it out for you so you can see. This one is pretty sheer in application, but it does build up nicely. It is very powdery though, so just be mindful of that. I had a lot of powder kick up when using it this morning, and I do have it through my transition and underneath the lower lash line to kind of blend everything out. And like I mentioned, I hate this eye look. I think I'm just going to need to pair these lilac-y shades that I've recently purchased with some warmer shades to kind of warm everything up, because personally for me, I think that looks a lot better on my complexion than this kind of dead zombie looking purple smoky eye I have going on today. I'm just not happy with it. You know those days when you wake up and you just want to immediately take your makeup off after you put it on? That's me. I don't know. I'm not happy with what's going on here. The shade in the middle here is also one that really stood out to me. This is Pink Sugar, and I absolutely adore the names of all of these, but specifically that shade, Pink Sugar. I don't know if you guys remember the Pink Sugar perfume. I believe they still sell it at Sephora, but it was really, really popular when I was in middle school and just going into high school. It is this super, super sweet, kind of cotton candy-ish scent, and I just love that smell. It just brings me back to being a little kid. This shade is described as a salmon pink shimmer with a subtle sparkle. It definitely has a little bit of a sparkle to it, but nothing that's too crazy and too overwhelming. I have this on my lids today, and I will say that it definitely blended into my crease and kind of got all my crease work a little bit sparkly. I don't know if that was just me being frustrated with the fact that I hated my color scheme that I went with, but I don't know, I definitely have some of the sparkle and the shimmer kind of up in my crease today. So I don't know if that's the eyeshadow's fault or just me being lazy and kind of careless. And I'm going to be testing out this shadow a lot more and pairing it with some different colors that I think might flatter it better. And maybe I'll appreciate it more once I've used it with some colors that I actually enjoy and give it a fair shot. The last shade in the palette over here is Truffle, which is described as a nude with rose undertones. It is a medium toned kind of tannish color, and it definitely has a pinky undertone to it. I'll show you in the swatches here. The shadow definitely does look like a chocolate truffle, definitely has that kind of pinky undertone to it, but it's still a tan color, and I feel like a lot of people would like this as a transition shade. I typically don't really reach for shades like this, but it's nice to have in my collection because I don't really have anything like this. Altogether, I think that this is a nice palette. I'm just not so sure about the color scheme for me yet, but I think that the color scheme itself goes together really well. All of the shades can be paired together to make a complete eye look in my opinion, and I think that it's a nice shade selection. I just don't necessarily like these tones on my specific undertone and complexion, but like I've said a million times already, I'm just gonna have to find some things to pair with this to make it a little bit more suitable for my specific skin tone. And the very last product that I have gotten from my haul is this Urban Decay B6 Vitamin Infused Complexion Prep Spray. I recently ran out of my De-Slick setting spray by Urban Decay, and I was going to make a purchase for the VIB sale and buy that and get the 15% off, but when I was doing my VIB recommendations and wishlist video, one of you guys actually suggested to me to go to Nordstrom Rack because they have some setting sprays there. So I dragged my butt off the couch and went down to the Nordstrom Rack yesterday and bought this guy for a whole whopping $18.99 for a full-sized Urban Decay setting spray. The usual setting sprays by Urban Decay are $32, and I can't remember the exact dollar amount, but I think with the 15% off for the VIB sale, it would have brought this down to about $28 or so, but I still saved an extra $10 by going to Nordstrom Rack. And granted, this isn't De-Slick, but this does say that it is redness reducing, pore minimizing, and oil absorbing, which sounds like everything I need. And this is supposedly a prep spray, but I don't see why you couldn't spray this over your makeup and set your makeup with this. So I'm excited to give this a go. I haven't tried it yet, but I think it was definitely a good price. And thank you to you guys for suggesting this to me because you saved me $10. Well, that is going to be wrapping up today's haul. I think once I've tested these products a little bit more and gotten some more of the stuff that I've ordered in, I will do a haul update. And I definitely still owe you guys a haul update on a haul that I did a couple months ago. I think it was 2 months ago. It was at the very beginning of my channel. So I definitely owe you guys an update on that. And I think I'll just group everything together as a one big consecutive haul update. This way you guys can just get all the information you need all in one spot. I do hope that you consider subscribing. I have all sorts of makeup stuff happening here on this channel every single week. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. I hope you are having an absolutely awesome day wherever you are, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye!